Everyone wants more money, but most of us weren't taught how to create an abundant life. That's where the More Money Show comes in. If you're ready to have more money, create more freedom, and experience more fun, turn the volume up. It's time to learn how to create the prosperity and life you have been dreaming of. Here's your host, Cassie Parks.
Hello and welcome to this episode. I am normally your host, Cassie Parks, and today I am turning the tables and letting Paulie Rojas interview me as part of her Year of Growth series, and so she can ask all those questions that you guys might be wondering. So welcome, Paulie.
Thanks, Cassie. What a Monday to be able to start off by asking you questions.
Yes, that's awesome.
Turn the tables a bit. I'm so excited.
Me too. Tell us what's awesome first.
Okay. I did a play this weekend and it was such an amazing feeling. I'd listened to Vicky do your interview as well. Yes. And she talked about, dream roles popping up, and I took that as evidence. So it's so cool to have this enchanted circle that circulates like such amazing intentions and vibes, because I had that with me while I was on stage. And it was so great because it was the laughter was rampant and we got a standing ovation, and that was like I didn't expect it that night, and it was really the coolest feeling in the world.
That's amazing. Yay.
Yeah.
So awesome.
Yeah. What's awesome with you, Cassie?
What is awesome? I'm getting ready to go on. So when this is being recorded, it'll be a while before it comes out, but I'm getting ready to go on 2 back-to-back trips, and the second of which is Jenny's wedding. So,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's just like 10 days of goodness that like culminates with that, which is amazing.
That sounds incredible. And you're marrying her, right?
Yes.
Have you done that before?
I have. Yeah.
Oh my God. Do you like doing that?
I love it. It's so amazing. Yeah.
What an honor. And I mean, I couldn't think of a better person than you.
Oh, thank you. And that's exactly how I see it. It's just such an honor to do that.
Yeah. And it only makes sense that you would do it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So shall we jump in?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. I have so many questions. I'm like, okay, we're going to dig deep, Cassie.
I love it.
All right. So we'll start easy.
Okay.
What movie best describes your life right now?
Oh, my life right now?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Man, what's a movie that's like all awesome all the time?
Oh my gosh. My
Oh, you know what? I can say this now. The Notebook best describes my life.
Yes.
Really? Yes.
Oh my God. I love hearing that. Really?
Yes.
Oh, I love that. That's one of my favorite movies. It's one of the best movies. Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's so good. I love that. All right. Yeah. I needed to take a second and breathe in. Oh my God. That's great.
What a great question. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you go into that a little bit?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so my partner and I, that is a lot our love story. It's not Shamar Moore. This is by the time this interview comes out, this will all be like, everybody will know this, but it's not a secret. But yeah, so she is amazing. That our love story had like, I think it's a 10-year gap in the Notebook, or 8 years.
Wow. Yeah, something
gap, and it came back, and that's one thing she said to me, and yeah. So,
oh my God, Cassie, I'm so happy I could cry.
Oh, thank you.
Oh my God. And I can relate to that. It wasn't 10 years, but I did have a separation with my boyfriend, and it was the hardest thing I'd ever been through, but it was also the best thing that could have ever happened to me, because talk about gratitude. Like, I feel so grateful to be with him.
Yes.
That I maybe would be taking him for granted. I don't know, but 10 years or like close to a decade. That's amazing. So
yeah.
That's true love.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that, Cassie.
You're welcome.
All right. Okay. Now I'm all kerfuffled. Okay.
I love it.
Yeah. I've always wanted to ask you this. So what are like 1 or 2 questions that you wish you were asked more? Like, is there a question that you love to get?
Oh, question I'd love to get. I love to get, and I get it sometimes, but I get it in roundabout ways. But like, is manifesting $10,000 really possible?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
love to answer that, and I love to say yes. And like all my clients, like everyone exceeds that now. Like 10,000 is like such a low number in the Enchanted Circle right now. It's the
Yeah.
given, right? Like it's 20, 30. Like when you get when you're at least sometimes it takes 6 months, but like that's a given, right?
Yeah.
So that one, and I think I would love to be asked more about, Jenny and I have talked about this on our podcast recently. We talk about it kind of a lot, but really that difference between manifesting the stuff and manifesting a life. Like, what does that look like?
Oh, I love that. The long game versus the short game.
Yeah.
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 That was so poignant.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. So I know what to ask you more of.
I
This
love
helps
it.
me. Oh man, great. Okay. So, what does your future self look like? Give me Cassie in 5 years.
Oh,
Because you know what my future self, you know what all of us look like.
I
I
do.
wanna, yeah.
Yeah. So in 5 years, there's 1,000 people in the Enchanted Circle
Mm,
that have, and many have been there for a long time, right? You're on that list. Like actually
yeah.
when I script you and coming back and talking about your roles and coming to events. And one of the clearest thing is, how do we do like the celebration, right? And it's
Mm-hmm.
um there's 100 people that show up, and we sort of rent this warehouse where we can stage different things that we want to take pictures of, and at different people's future selves, and have a line of makeup artists and photographers. And it's a day of continuous celebration. It's like we take a break and we, everybody goes and does their stuff, but then it's like we hand out the money to someone else and they talk about that. And
I love it.
yeah, and there's more than 20, multimillionaires in the room
Ooh.
that have worked with me, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. I
Yeah.
can see this like as a global event, like getting so big because I'm thank you for scripting me.
You're
I'm
welcome.
happy I found you. Yeah. We found each other.
We did find each other. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I love it. And I also always see you coming to events with me, walking down the red carpet. Yes.
Yes,
And
I've
just being
seen
able
that.
to, talk about you on TV,
Yes.
That's one of my dreams for sure. Spread the enchantment.
Yes, I love that. Thank you. And I now look more like gowns, just for
Mhm.
inspiration,
Oh,
because I'm
good.
planning for that.
Oh, you have to send me some because I want to know
Oh,
like what
okay.
your style is.
Yes, I
So I
will.
can start
Okay.
picturing you in those dresses too.
Awesome. I love
Yeah.
it. Done.
Cool. Okay, so what's been your biggest like a chills moment of manifest? Like, was there something that you thought even you were like, oh wow, I don't know, and then it happened, and you were like, well, of course it happened because that's the law of attraction.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh. So I will say my love story is that
Mm.
was never like an option. All the work I did was to let go of that, and this is a soul connection. It's not this lifetime, and really move on from that, and create this whole other, really script exactly what I wanted, which had
Oh.
elements of that because I knew what true love was, but was more about being open and connected and all of that. And so that was for sure the one thing I never thought was on the possibility block. I mean, I knew I would true love. I knew
Mm-hmm.
love, like I thought it was I thought he was coming.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that story would be true, but the fact that it includes her and like the person that deep, that I already had that deep connection with, is just, that's beyond my wildest dreams. And it speaks so much to alignment, right?
Mm-hmm.
In so many ways, like we have to become aligned to that, and we have to hold to what we want no matter what,
Mm-hmm.
and let
Oh,
everything else go,
yeah.
which is so hard because we usually are like, but no, I don't want to let go.
Of course, yeah.
And it speaks to how people rise when
Mm-hmm.
you are aligned.
Oh my God, Cassie, I so feel you. And I'm like on the verge of tears just hearing you say that. It's so beautiful. And I identify because when I broke up with my boyfriend, it was this, I wanted it to be him so bad, like
Yeah.
like nothing I've ever experienced. But I think this was right before I met you. It's probably why I started listening to your podcast too. But I
Yeah.
was like, all right, I gotta let go of that and like somehow be, without even meeting you yet, like be who I want to be. And then I found you. So it's, talk about
Awesome.
alignment. Yeah.
Yes.
And it was like that really like soul searching, letting go, like gotta do it, like slap yourself in the face and, go do
Yes.
it. And then he did rise up to the occasion and pursued me. So, and that was built, I would have given my left arm, to be with him.
Yeah.
And then it was the letting go that brought him back, or not brought him back, but like connected us again.
Yeah. Allow
Like,
that
yeah.
new space. I think that really is what it is that it's that new space to connect as new people. Even though you have a past, which is amazing and beautiful, like
and part of your story, right?
Yeah, part of your story. Yeah. But it's that letting go that lets the story be new.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm so touched by this.
I know, this is so much fun. I get to do this with you.
I know. Oh man, this is so cool. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Okay, so that was huge. Oh yeah. What would you say to your 6-year-old self?
Oh, my 6-year-old self.
Your little girl.
My little girl. Okay, I have to think of this. So I was going into first grade. I would just say, like, don't tame it down. Like always just believe and do it, and don't, like, yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
What were you like at 6 years old?
Oh man, I'm trying to remember. It's one of those, I remember this. I don't know why. This is so silly, and silly that a 6-year-old was thinking about this, but I was going to have a male teacher in first grade, and I was like, I think scared of the unknown, right? I'd only had a male kindergarten teacher. That's all I'd known. And so I was really scared about that. And he ended up being like one of my favorite teachers, and I had him for 2 years. What was I like? I liked to play. I liked to sneak down and watch. And this is probably like the screenwriter, the author in me, right? I love to sneak down. My babysitter would always watch General Hospital and One Life to Live. So I love to, like, when we got to not have nap time, or like when I was in first grade, we didn't have to nap anymore, right? Me and my best friend was my the babysitter's daughter. So like, like I loved, like at 6, I loved the drama of that.
That's so funny. Was George Clooney on General Hospital? Or was that?
I don't know.
No, was he on a soap? No, he was.
I don't think he was on a soap.
No, okay. He looks like he was on a soap.
He does look like he was on a soap. Yeah.
Right. No, sorry, that was another series. But yeah, I love that. I can see you with like your curly hair, and just like sneaking and loving the drama. I love it. And then, do you feel like you were chosen to do this work, or how do you think it works? Or did you choose it for yourself, like in the grand scheme of things? What are your thoughts on that? Because I think about that a lot.
Yeah. I think it's, I believe in like the intimate possibilities, and there are all these paths. And I think there are things we choose before we come to this life, right? And I think even those things can change. The more that I look at that, the more I believe, like, okay, even when we choose, we still can, as we come here as humans, and we have these choices that maybe we don't have as just souls and spirits, like, we sometimes choose differently than we pre-planned. But I think some of the same things, some things were just meant to, or the things that we decided would happen, right? But I think there were a lot of different paths, and I think I chose it. I think it was like maybe laid out as like, here are your options, right?
Yeah.
But I chose it. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. And can you tell me more? I have this, like, and it's pretty much a big obsession of like the universe and spirits and death and afterlife and our job here as humans. Like, what are your thoughts on that? I know it's a lot, but do you ever put them all together, or do you have your own like deep belief? I would love to know
Yeah.
what you think about that.
So let's see if I can put this into like a couple.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Sorry, that was a big question.
Yeah,
I know.
it's okay. I love it. I love it. So I do believe for the universe. So I believe like spirituality and the law of attraction are different. While they intersect, I do believe that they are like, the law of attraction is a universal law. And I think that's they all tie together, right? Like it's like, oh yeah, they're separate, but they're not, but they, so I think that I really go with the what I've learned about the universe is actually the latest research that I have read is it's a field. It's like a membrane, right? And it's really like a mirror, and it just reflects back to us what we're putting out there. And I love that for a couple of reasons, because it really is like, okay, it's all us, right?
Yeah.
And so I believe that's the universe. I do believe that we as souls, when we come down, when we choose to inhabit in human bodies and have human experiences, we choose some things, right? Like we might choose our soulmates before. And like I said, I really believe that was a pre-plan, and some things that happened down here messed with that, and that's why it's taken so long. The story is actually a 20-year story, like I said, 10, because we didn't talk to each other in 10 years, but it's a 20-year story. Yeah.
Are you gonna write the book?
I am gonna write the book.
Oh, thank God. I can see it's a bestseller already.
Right? Yeah.
Wow, 20 years. Yeah.
And so I do think, and I've talked to like other coaches that were sort of involved in this process, and it's like, yeah, like we made that plan, but the things that happened in life that we didn't plan or see coming could have changed some of those paths. And I believe that happens. And so I believe we do make some choices. And so when we find the choice, we can choose to come back, and we choose to choose something different down here. And I think that some of us, like some souls, choose things before that they don't even know, they choose them for reasons, and we don't know them. And I think we are spirits on the other side, and I think we're like, and I think we still have spirit personalities, right? Like some spirits might want to come and be in your life all the time, and some spirits just want to go back up and hang out in spirit land.
Yeah. They have free will too, like us.
Yeah.
Talking about spirits, do you ever like feel them, or do you know how to get in touch with them, or do you know how to call on them, or do you ever like even want to?
I've never really even wanted to. So when I was in high school, a friend of mine passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And yeah, it's okay. And she, again, for me and my story, I think that was something she chose before she came down, right? That was part of her thing. And, but we would definitely, when we'd sit at her mom's house, there was a light that had been broken forever, for maybe 2 years, I think, before she died. And about 6 months after she died, on Mother's Day, her mom was sitting there just crying and saying something, and the light popped on. And from that moment on, when we would all be at the table at the house, like it would go on and off.
Yeah.
When we started talking about her. Right?
Oh my God. Yeah. Oh my God. I love it.
Yeah.
Cassie, you have me on the verge of tears. I know I'm asking the questions, but your answers are so amazing. I also believe that. Like, I know when my dad died, and I've that's the reason I think about this stuff so much, is like, because I want to still feel connected to him.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I do feel like that was a choice, like even with my mom before they came.
Right.
And manifested as like physical beings. I do feel like they made this agreement that he was going to leave early. And I feel like for my mom, now I'm going to cry, but I feel like she does have like her purpose is still continuing on. There's a reason why she's here.
Yeah.
And so I think that too, with your friend who passed away in high school, I do feel like there was an agreement there.
Yeah.
Something beautiful blossomed from that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, when my dad passed away, I remember his historical literary hero was Don Quixote. I don't know if you know who that. Yeah.
Yes,
so he had like these beautiful Don Quixote statues like all over our house. And when he passed away, this like bird flew in and landed on his favorite statue of Don Quixote and just like
Uh,
perched for a while. And we were just like, and then it left. And I don't know. I've gotten so many little signs like that I'm like, I know he's there. So I love
yes.
that you've experienced that too, like the
Yeah.
light going on. That's pretty powerful.
Yeah. It's very powerful. Yes.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Okay, so continuing on to this existential thing. So do you know Carl Sagan? He was
Um,
he wrote Contact. He was I believe an
like,
astrophysicist, a
okay.
scientist. And so well his whole thing was he did this thing called like the Golden Record, which is like a time capsule that I think he did it with NASA that was shot up into the universe
Uh-huh.
so that and it recorded like what he felt was like a representation of humans, like the
Yeah.
cultural earth, so that if there was an intelligent beings that found the capsule, they would open it and they would get like a history of Earth. And he put in like all the beautiful things like children saying hello in all these different languages and music and laughter. I think the sound of his wife's voice is in there.
Yeah.
Like all these like
Uh,
felt really represented the best of us.
yeah.
So I wanted to ask you if you had something like that, like the Cassie time capsule, what would you shoot out into the universe to represent the most beautiful things to you?
Oh, so, my friends and family like laughter, right? Probably like a laugh track of, a family event or, and as well as my friends sitting around, just hanging out and also like a deep conversation, right? Just a glimpse of some sort of deep conversation. And then I would send up like you all sharing, like I would send up the beginning of a enchanted circle call. This is how my
Yeah.
future self is showing up. This is what's awesome. I would, because that I think is the best of like what's humanly possible. And I think that's what I think some souls and spirits come here to learn other things, right? They come here to learn some of those hard lessons so that they can grow and evolve. And but I think the best is you guys and all of us and how we open to possibility and what we
Mhm.
create.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. We can call it the enchanted capsule
Yes.
and
I
just send
love
it out into
it.
space.
Send it up
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be so cool. I'm sure that's possible somehow.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Awesome. Oh, okay. What's an amazing thing you did that no one was around to see?
Oh, amazing thing I did that no one was around. Okay, we might have to. This will come. I know because I know there's one. It's like right there, but I'm like, what is it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you want me to ask another question?
yeah, and we'll come
Okay.
back to it.
Okay, cool. I'll circle that. Oh, okay. What is something you think everyone should do at least once in their lives?
Believe in something that they don't think is possible. Like
Mm.
truly surrender to believing in whether it's like your wildest dream feels really like a big thing, but like
Mm-hmm.
believe something is possible that they don't think is possible. Like just let go, surrender, and just believe like maybe that'll happen one day,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's got to be so cool that you have seen that over and over and over and
Yes.
witnessed that for people and like guided people to that.
Yes. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the magic and that's what's most fun for me.
Mm-hmm.
I could have, back to one of your, like, are you chosen or the path question? Like there's a
Mm-hmm.
million things I could, maybe not a million, but there's a lot of things I could have chosen and I would have been happy. But this, like getting to do this work is what makes me the happiest, the most fulfilled
Mm-hmm.
because of that, because I get to see that every day.
Yeah. And what was it that made you say, yeah, I can believe the big stuff? Like what did it for you?
Oh, the little stuff. I mean, honestly, it was probably manifesting my financial independence so quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah. And retiring at 35, was it?
32. Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, 32. Yes, excuse me.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
32.
Wow.
Because that was really, it happened. I mean, I had wanted that, but when I really started doing the work, it was, and I say technically, I'll explain it, technically 6 months until I was financially independent. And what that means is that I found this property that I could have moved into and my other properties all my bills would have been paid. Like there wouldn't have been extra, but I could have been financially free, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that was like 6 months from when I really got clear and was honest and started doing the work. I thought I was doing the work before, but that was the real moment.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and then it was only like 10 months later when I got the house that was, actually, I think that like financial independence was, but also manifesting I'm sure you've heard the story, but maybe not,
Mm-hmm.
so I sat out and I was like, okay, I've got this one property. Now I want to manifest a 2-bedroom condo or a 1-bedroom condo that'll pay for my 2-bedroom condo.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
And them ending up on the same property, and that happening with really July. It closed in October. So July was the start of the intention, and October is when I closed.
I can't. What was your feeling when that happened in October?
Amazing. And and I want to share the other amazing part with you is that, so there was this street that I would always, there was this yoga studio that I went to at that time, and had been going to for a while. And I would go to candlelight yoga with my friend. And so it was a one-way in Denver, it's Broadway. And so you'd go down the one-way, we'd go to yoga, and we come home, we turn and we come up Lincoln. And I would say to my friend, I would love to own a house on this street. And that was like a year before even the intention of 2 condos, and the house was on that street. Yeah.
Oh my God. That's so cool. That's such evidence for everybody. And
right.
Yeah. That's so cool. I love that. That kind of, my next question was there a chance encounter that changed your life forever? But it sounds like it was a lot of little things that steered the ship for you, or you steered the ship.
Yeah. It was a lot of little things, and choosing to listen to that inspiration, right? And not knowing like, I need to be here. I need to go to this place. I need to,
Yeah. And can you talk a little bit more about how you listen? Is it just a feeling, or is it an actual whisper, or is it a voice, or is it just an aha moment, or is it just an impulse?
It's all of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes it's this feeling like go left instead of right, or like, I know I need to go that way, but I'm just going to drive down the street for whatever reason. Right. Sometimes it's knowing, like the spur of really the financial independence was just like, let me open the computer. It was this whisper of a question. I wonder what the least expensive house in Denver is. Like that I was not looking to buy anything in that moment. It was just this question. And that is what started, that's what started that path, really, was looking that day and finding a condo and being like, oh, I could rent that. And it was actually under contract we went to see it, and I ran the numbers, and I'm like, oh, I could make significant money on this. I don't even remember what the numbers were, but I could make like $300 to $500 a month on it. And I was like, oh, okay, that's possible. I could do that right now. Like, what else? So that one was already under contract, but that's really what started the path.
Yeah.
To the rest of them. Yeah.
Oh,
and it was
so
just
neat.
That whisper of a question that there was enough space in my life to listen to.
Yeah, I love that. It's a whisper of a question, because I'm starting to develop this theory that I think my whispers, like if I were to give it a sound, it would be like a, huh.
It's I love it.
Like, it's just like a, okay, maybe, I don't know, like detached excitement almost. That's kind of how I'm starting to, as I'm like training this trust muscle and really opening up the space. That's like the sound that keeps coming up is the, huh. Kind of voice.
Yeah, I love that. Totally does.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so I just have a few more questions. How are you doing, Cassie?
Awesome. I'm great. Good. This is so much fun.
You're amazing.
Thank you.
I know you know that. Oh, talking about compliments, what's the best compliment you've ever received?
Oh, the best compliment I've ever received. That's a good one. Oh, I know what it is. It is. It's happened more than once. I actually got it from my partner, my current partner. And it's happened from clients, but she, cause she had listened to the podcast with Jenny and I, and then Jenny was in town and she came over and she goes, walking into the house, with you two, it's like Zen. It's like a spa. There's nothing. She goes, and when you sit with you guys, she goes, it's exactly like the podcast. And I'm like, yeah, this is our life, right? And we had one of our Manifest It Now a couple years ago, one of our VIPs that went to dinner with us and did the dinner experience. She said the same thing. She's like, this is not what I expected. She goes, but this is just like you guys and coaching. And because she got to see us practicing, neither of us was, or maybe, I don't know if one of us was in the relationship at that time, but, practice how we be our future selves and practice how we be like stand in for our partners and like, just witness that like, this is what we do at dinner. We don't get on the air and talk and then
put it on
dinner.
You are just a shining example of authenticity and your future self, which is
Thank you.
Yeah, I love it. And it's so funny because I know you've even asked me this before, but practicing in the beingness has helped me become as good an actress as I can be now, because we have to believe it, right? And for an actor to be effective, they have to believe the circumstances, or there's no point in telling the story at all. So even the work I'm doing for myself, and it just contributes to my effectiveness on the work that I feel like I was put on earth to do. So it's such a cool feeling.
I love that.
Yeah. So thank you, Cassie.
You're welcome.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So we're talking about compliments. How do you, because I have this issue, taking compliments where I want to be genuine, and also like when they say, "Oh, you're awesome," I want to say, "Yeah, that's right." I've practiced this, but I don't want to come off haughty or, pompous.
Yeah.
Did that ever happen to you when someone's like, "Oh, you're so amazing, Cassie," and I know that deep down that you are. How do you do it? Taking compliments graciously?
Mostly I just say thank you. And I think this goes back to, there was a training I did on like being a speaker and doing what I do now a long time ago. And you had to stand there and you had to just like practice receiving applause.
Oh,
yeah, because it's really, And so,
I love that.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I heard the message of that day, right? Is like, if you are going to be, and now I watch, like, the last concert I was at was Pink, and I watched her just be able to stand there and have this stadium of people like show gratitude through cheers and clapping, and give them that space. Because I think for me, the biggest understanding is that if you want to do something amazing, like, people are going to want to say thank you. Like for you, like you tell amazing stories, like that are changing people's lives, or like connect with them or make them feel, and they're grateful for that. And like when I do work that literally changes people's lives and helps their dream come true, like if I'm closed just celebrating that, it takes away from it, because part of us as human beings is that reciprocity and that thank you for being in my life, and the sharing of energy. And so for me, I think I just learned early, and I started practice. I was lucky enough to learn, and then I started practicing like receiving and just being like, thank you, and I'm gonna let you cheer for me,
Right. Yeah. And also, you as our coach, we look to you as an example. So if you were closed off from receiving anything, then we're going to inherit what you're doing and also be closed off. So that makes total sense. Yeah. Just say thank you.
Just say thank you. And
thank you.
Because then, and if you put yourself in that, that person who's wanted to be like, thank you, you impacted my life, you want to be heard. Like, it's just part of how we connect on our hearts and our soul level,
Yeah. And it's such a big compliment to the person giving the compliment to receive what they're saying.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Cool. Okay. Almost there.
Good.
If you could turn any activity into an Olympic sport, what would you have a good chance at winning a medal for?
I'm going to say manifesting money. But
I love that.
Right? Yeah. Manifesting money, or I want to share the second one, like changing anything into a positive, into what you want.
Oh yeah.
right?
Olympic
Like on the
gold.
spot. Yeah.
Mhm.
Like if
Yeah.
they gave you like a statement that was like, I don't know.
It's raining.
Yeah. And be like, it's, everything is getting washed and cleaned, or, like, or something that was like a negative
Yeah.
thought and like automatically, or something that somebody wanted, turning it into
Yeah.
what they do want instead of what they don't want.
That I feel like that should be an actual sport.
Right.
Can
That
you
would be a
imagine?
fun game.
Yeah, that would be like to out positive
Yeah.
each other. Yeah, yeah. I'd love to see that. You would still win. Yeah, I'd be competition, but I still wouldn't win with you. Awesome. Oh, okay. I do want to know this. What do you have doubts about, and how do you deal with doubt? Because I imagine you're still human,
Yeah.
and doubts happen a lot, but you know how to ride it better, and like you said,
Yeah.
make it a positive, or no, you know how to do it.
Yeah. Um, I think doubt and, the fear, like, those are, they're, they're human, right? Like, fear is human, and
Mhm.
fear is, we are so understanding that fear, which is just like the leader of doubt, I think, um, comes from this space of our brains trying to protect us. It's primal, right?
Mhm.
And so understanding that every time we grow to a new level, there's going to be something, because we have to become something new. And
Mhm.
so for me, it's whenever there's an up level, and that's not on a like a schedule, right? It's not like every 3 months. Sometimes it goes really fast, and then there's like a plateau for a while, or a little smoother ground for a while. um but really, I think that's all comes down to the universal, like, can I do this? Like,
Mhm.
can I, and sometimes it happens, you know, in certain, even with like clients, like, and I go, yep, like they showed up. That means you can do this for me.
Yes. Right.
Right. So
Right.
that, you're their coach, which means like, okay, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
like, can I do this new level? Can I have this, bigger experience? Or, yeah.
Oh, I love that. It makes me think of that quote, situations don't make a man, they reveal a man. So it's
Yes.
like when we show up, you reveal yourself. It's not like you're becoming this amazing coach. It's who you already are.
Yeah.
So like with fear, whatever comes out of you, it's like it reveals who you are, but you are an amazing coach. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that made any sense, but
I think so.
like
Yeah. And it's
yeah,
always
yeah.
going to be there. Like, right?
Right,
That
right.
next level it's
Mhm.
always going to be there. Okay. Like, I did this, like I manifested financial independence at this level. Like, now I'm working on a whole other level of wealth, right? Like, that was to be
Yeah.
free, and that was to have a choice, and that was to be able to build my business. And
Yeah.
now I've built my business, and I'm going along that path. And I think,
Mhm.
especially when we talked a little bit at the beginning about the long game versus the short game.
Right.
You're
Yeah.
in the long game of manifesting and manifesting a life.
Mhm.
There's so many growth opportunities, because you're manifesting this whole big thing, not just like one thing at a time. Right.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. Oh,
yeah.
that's great. Oh my God. I can't wait to hear this podcast because you've said so many great things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I think I just have 3 more questions.
Yeah.
Unless you remember what amazing thing you did that no one was there to
Oh,
see.
that no one was there to see. I have not remembered that yet.
Okay, it's
But
gonna
I can go back.
come later today in the
Yeah.
coaching call, maybe. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So I've heard you talk with Ginny about how she loves Abraham Hicks.
Hmm.
And how do you feel about Abraham Hicks? Because I don't believe that you don't like subscribe. I mean, you believe all the stuff, but it's different.
Yeah. So I've just never been, that's just not where I learned the
Hmm.
law of attraction. It's where a lot of people learn the law of attraction.
Right. Yeah.
I've maybe seen 1 2 minute Abraham Hicks as Esther,
Yeah.
video.
Yeah.
It just wasn't my thing. Like, for me, and not because it was wrong, it just wasn't my path. Like, I've always been the science. Like,
Hmm.
I've always understood this, that like attracts like, since,
Hmm.
8th grade. I might not have known how to put that into play,
Hmm.
but I did understand that, and I've always understood it, and I've always been drawn to the science.
Yeah.
And so I just came up differently. And so, yeah, it's
Yeah.
not my thing.
Hmm.
And I love that they inspire and change. I
Hmm.
also love that I get to take it to the level where I could take
Yeah. And that's why I came to you, because I love science and I love physics. So, and that's what you talk about it in terms of like in physical terms. That makes sense,
Yes.
to like
Yeah.
someone that might be, because I am, emotional and I do like to listen to Abraham Hicks, but I was drawn to you because you were so concrete when you talk about things. And I love that about you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just wondered about that because I know you'd mentioned that with Ginny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, what's the best and worst piece of advice you've ever received?
Oh, okay. The best advice. I mean, the worst advice, I don't know exactly what it was, but it goes something like that won't work.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it comes really practically. Like I get it a lot in business. Like somebody told me not to rename this podcast. Like that's bad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, my people are fine. Like, don't worry.
Don't worry. Yeah, they're smart. They'll get with it.
Right. They're
Yeah.
like, but it's really those, for me, any worst piece of advice is something that fits in a box of what's already been done,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just confining.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ugh, and it's icky.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I think, do you want the best?
No. Yes.
Okay. Because this embodies what all I do now is I had a hitting coach in college, and Rob was he kind of did look like a homeless guy in a love way, but it was like a homeless Buddha, right? And he said to me once, he goes, it's not about thinking that you can hit.
Mm-hmm.
It's about never thinking that you can't.
And
I think that for now, like that embodies everything we do in the Enchanted Circle.
Yeah.
Is really getting to that place where we never think that we can't. It's not about thinking that we can. It's just we can.
Oh my God, this brings back on a call how you told me that like if you're playing basketball with Michael Jordan, you hand the ball to Michael Jordan because he's going to shoot, right?
Right.
So it's like, be the person that just can't miss.
Yes.
That person. Yeah. Oh, I love that. I thank you for reminding me of that.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay. So what did I say? 2 or 3 more questions. Okay.
Yeah. Whatever you want. Yeah. Okay. We're good.
So I want to see, which one do I want to end with?
And you can ask them both if you want. It's no
Okay. I'll ask you.
Yeah.
If you could have a video of any event in your life, what event would you choose to go back and watch?
Ooh, what event?
Mm-hmm.
That's fun. In this moment, it would. Oh, so many. Like it would either be the process to becoming financially independent. Or on a fun note, it would be a friend's wedding from a couple years ago where the whole thing was just magical, from the proposal happening randomly. Like it was planned for later in the week, but then she had planned this amazing party for him where all of his friends were all in town. And so he moved up the date, right? Because everybody was there, but it was a total surprise. And that was actually, it was an evidence for me, because I had imagined very much a proposal, the energy of the proposal like that, and on a bridge, and it happened on a bridge. And it was like you got to have everybody there, but nobody knew, like only his uncle and his mom knew. And so there's like 20 or 30 of us that got to be in this moment that was a total surprise. It wasn't like where like everyone else knew and she didn't know, It was, it was so
Oh my God, I can't even imagine that. That sounds incredible. On a bridge. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to visualize my own proposal like that. It just inspired me. I love that. Okay. What chapters would you separate your autobiography into? And what would the title of your book be? Of your life?
It'd be You Can Have It All. Or You Can Create It All. And the chapters would be something like the early years, the messy 20s.
I can relate to that.
Chapter 28, and then it would be like, I think there would just be a chapter 28, because that
chapter 28. Yeah.
Yeah. Where I decided I wanted my 30s to be different than my 20s. And so that, and then it would just be like, love, like the end of it would be love, money, and laughter, right?
Oh,
Like, yeah.
Love, money, and laughter.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to pre-order that book.
I love it.
Okay, one last question I like.
Yeah.
I know your birthday is coming up.
Yeah.
You're a summer baby, right?
I am.
What do you want for your birthday?
Oh, what do I want for my birthday? Just some sort of amazing experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, whether it's small and intimate or some grand fun thing, just to have an amazing experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
I can't wait
yeah.
to hear what it's going to be.
Me too. I'm so excited now that we set that intention.
Yeah. All right. Well, unless you remember what amazing thing you did.
I'm sure there is something, but I cannot remember.
We can end this interview with a mystery.
We can.
want to find out.
I mean, a few people know. This one pops into mind, especially probably because, I sat next to a guy who didn't speak a lot of English on a flight to Florida, and he was older. He was probably 70s or 80s. And I was waiting at the airport. He spoke Spanish, and I knew because the flight attendant had given him a note in Spanish. And so, and he caught that I could understand it, even though, like, yeah. And so, but when we got to the airport, I had to wait like 3 hours for my friend, and we had planned this because she had a class and she was going to pick me up when she got done. But I saw him standing there like lost. And so like I went up and I'm like, is someone coming to get you? And it turns out his daughter was at the wrong airport in Florida. And so he needed he didn't understand he didn't understand what was going on. The one daughter was on the phone, one daughter was on the road. And so just, helping navigate, like, how do we find where he really is,
And you were his navigation system.
Yeah. And then, I could speak to his daughter in English and get as much Spanish as possible, to, like.
Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, can you leave us with a little bit of Spanish, Cassie?
Oh, let's see. Oh my gosh, what if I'm like, just, me amo.
Oh, you love yourself.
I do.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and te amo?
Yes, te amo.
Yes.
Yeah, te amo. Oh,
yeah.
Well, te amo mucho, Cassie.
Te amo mucho.
I love it. It sounds so good.
Like, so on the spot.
I know.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever heard the story. We're going to close this up. But I actually did profess my love for a man in my life in Spanish. Because
what?
Yeah. So, yeah.
Cassie.
Not on the spot. I know. So many things, right?
Oh, my God. Wow. That's so impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did it feel good to say it in Spanish?
It did. It felt that was something like he wanted, like someone had told me he wanted somebody who could speak Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I can do this. And,
yeah.
And so
I would have loved to see that.
It felt good and nerve-wracking, but good.
Oh, I love it. I love how you turned like a little bit red. Just a little bit.
Like,
sorry to put you on the spot.
No, that's all right.
So charming. Yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you so much for answering all my questions. I know I have so many more, but.
My pleasure. Well, we will do this again for sure.
Okay,
so
good.
Keep track of them.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Thank you so much. So much fun.
You're welcome. Thank you, Paulie, for interviewing me today. And thank you all for listening. And make sure to come back and check out my next interview as well as Paulie's next interview in the Year of Growth series.
Thank you for joining us on The More Money Show. To learn how to attract more money into your life, go to your favorite book retailer and order Cassie's book, Manifest $10,000.